So we finally got the conclusion of episode 5, and there are some questions that were answered, but also it left us with many more questions. And I'm going to do my best and break down what we just saw, and I'm going to let you guys know this is going to go into spoiler territory. If you haven't seen episode 5, you know what the story is. Let's begin. So in this episode, we got a backstory of Lookingglass. In the first part of the episode was a flashback scene that took place in Hoboken in 1985, 11/2/1985, and it shows that he was once a Jehovah Witness. He's with his group of other Jehovah Witnesses at this amusement park in 1985, and he goes up to this group of teens to try to give them the word. Obviously, they reject him, but this one girl decided to, learn more about his world, and they walked around the amusement park, laughed with one another, and they went to this area, this fun little kid area surrounded by glass, and she offered him oral sex. In Glass, he was shaking, he was frigid, he didn't know what to do with himself because it was the moment where he was going to get his cherry pop. But right at the moment of the climax, she took his clothes and ran off. Sinner! And I'm a sinner! Sin! Since the attack, he suffers from PTSD that has gotten to a point where he uses interdimensional devices to keep track of all the interdimensional activities going on in Tulsa. Since that genetically engineered octopus was summoned in 1985, almost every single week in Tulsa, there's be an event where squids are falling from the sky. Later on in the episode, we see Lookingglass and talk to his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend and give a little bit of a backstory of his love life too. Apparently, he has trust issues, and he had a relationship with this woman for about 7 years. Well, I'm not quite sure if they were together or married. Also, we learned more information about the pills that the old man was using to regain his memory. I thought that the pills maybe gave him a source of his power a little bit. The pills are mostly known for regaining memories, and also if you overdose it, you could suffer from psychosis. But my main question I have to say is, how did this old man was able to use his powers that he claimed he still has? So that's another question hopefully they can answer in the next few episodes. Also, since the event, we've seen the long-term complications that they have made since the event. Like, there's support groups, there's like bunkers that people have made underneath their houses. And due to these complications, it brought the whole entire world together because Adrian Voice was trying to manipulate the masses through fear to have them all focus on one common enemy, which was a giant squid that murdered and killed over millions of people, almost half the population. After Lookingglass's group therapy session or group meeting, there was a woman that entered into the room as well. He hasn't quite seen her before, and they hang out after the group session. Things lead on to another. He found out that she was a member of the Seventh Cavalry, and this was a part that really blew my eyes. He discovered that Seventh Cavalry are using interdimensional technology that's teleporting things from another dimension. I believe it's almost the same technology that Adrian Voice used during 1985. And we found out the leader of the Seventh Cavalry, which was one of the questions from my last episode recap, that Senator Kean is the leader of the Seventh Cavalry. And I just was like, whoa, this like shifted the whole entire perspective of the episode. Like, Senator Kean he has all the information of all the heroes, he knows their identities, he knows Angela Abbar's identity, so he knows where they live to. And also, we got an in-depth look that Senator Kean and Judd Crawford were working together, and they had different support groups that was working for the Seventh Cavalry, trying to maintain the balance in Tulsa. Senator Kean explains to Lookingglass about the opportunity of learning the truth and knowing what exactly is going on with our world, and he shows him a tape of Adrian Voice, who is in an alternate plane. He was personally talking to Robert Redford, and he had created a video that was strictly made for Robert Redford, and it seemed like that Adrian Voice was in an alternate plane that took place in the past, talking about the events of the future, that the government's being manipulated by Adrian Voice, that the reason why everything is happening the way it is because of Adrian Voice, and all this was planned back in 1985 or 1993. Step out, that part's a little bit confusing. Then at the end of the episode, we saw that Lookingglass more likely got killed off because the Seventh Cavalry was seen at the last part of the episode going into his house, cocking their shotguns. So more likely, Lookingglass is more likely dead. I feel like that takes away from the character, or makes the character feel like it's a waste, because, you know, you spend so much time building him up and then you just kill him off. I would have liked it better if they developed him like early in the episode, maybe in episode 2, episode 3, and then kill him off in this episode, or next episode, whatever episode they're gonna kill him off. But so this episode did a good job of developing his character. We got an inside look of him before his demise. But then now later in the episode, we learn more about Adrian Voice, that he is actually stuck in an alternate plane. Now the question is, who put him there? Who put him there as prisoner? More likely could have been Dr. Manhattan, more likely, or was it Lady True? And then later on in the episode, we learned that the reason why he was flinging all of the clones, Adrian Voice was able to catapult himself outside of the dimension and onto the moon, and he like relayed a message for a Pacific satellite. And I don't know who the satellite is for. More likely, my theory is the satellite's for Lady Trio or the government. Robert Redford does kind of owe him a favor due to Adrian Voice helping him become president, since all this was planned. Now with Lookingglass biting the dust, which makes sense because he knows too much. Also, we know that Lookingglass sort of saved Angela Abar's life a little bit by turning her in, and that was the only way he could do so, to keep her away from enemy hands. But the enemy hands automatically know the information about Sister Night, so she's in danger, and Sister Night doesn't even know about it. So that's going to be something interesting to look into for episode 6. And before Sister Night was turned in, she swallowed all the pills. So in the next episode, what I've seen from the previews, she's going to be dealing with psychosis. I feel like the tides have turned drastically. Now I feel like the bad guys have a huge advantage. So there's a lot of questions going into episode 6. Hopefully we can learn more about what's the relationship status between Lady Trio and Adrian Voice, who put Adrian Voice in that alternate dimension. What was Sister Night's reaction when she finds out Lookingglass has been murdered? There's so many things to go into. So that's my recap and review of the episode 5. What are your thoughts? Comment below and let's talk about it. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. And if you like everything you see and you agree, subscribe to my channel and join me in the Batman family. I'll have more Batman-tastic reviews in the way. You have been warned. Till then, ciao.